So, you've got this brilliant AI idea, and you're probably laser focused on the tech, right? But to turn that spark into a real, fundable business, you need more than code. You need a blueprint. Today, we're going to walk through the AI GEM framework, a complete strategy for going from a cool concept to a company investors will actually want to back. Let's get into it.
So you have a groundbreaking AI concept, and that's awesome. But here's the thing. How do you get from a great idea to an investable company? Because let me tell you, investors are looking for so much more than just clever code. They need to see a business that's defensible, scalable, and, this is a big one, legally sound from day one.
And that's exactly why we start here, with what is, without a doubt, the highest priority, the legal foundation. Look, this is not something you just kick down the road to deal with later. Before you even think about writing production code, you have to secure your assets. It is the absolute bedrock for everything else you're going to build. Let's be really clear about this. These are not suggestions. They're immediate, mandatory actions. First up, you've got to establish a Delaware C Corp. It's just the standard for venture-backed startups. Second, and this is so crucial, all the founders have to sign IP assignment agreements. This makes sure the company, not you as an individual, owns all that valuable intellectual property. And finally, do a thorough trademark search. You do not want a costly legal fight over your name later on. Now, if you're wondering why this is all so critical, just try to think like an investor for a second. For them, having this proper legal and IP protection in place is, and I quote, a non-negotiable prerequisite. It's not a nice to have. It is the price of admission. If you don't have this sorted, the funding conversation is over before it even starts. All right, once your legal house is in order, then you can focus on building your technical asset. And this means creating a platform that is defensible and secure by design. You can't just slap security on at the end. It has to be woven into the very fabric of your architecture from the get-go. So to really get why this framework is such a big deal, you first have to understand this classic security flaw called the confused deputy problem. In simple terms, it's when a program with a lot of permissions gets tricked by something with fewer permissions into doing something it shouldn't. Think of it like a security guard getting fooled into opening a high-security vault for someone who isn't authorized. It's a huge issue in traditional systems. And here is the core difference. Traditional systems rely on what are essentially forgeable references. It's like a fake ID card that can be easily copied, making them super vulnerable. The AI GEM framework, on the other hand, uses something called capability-based security. Access is granted with an unforgeable token of authority. It's like a unique, single-use key that can't be copied. This one architectural change completely eliminates the confused deputy problem. That is a massive competitive advantage right there. But hey, securing the plumbing isn't enough, right? You also have to secure the AI models themselves, and that takes a multi-layered defense-in-depth strategy. So you have automated red teaming, which is basically like having a full-time hacker on your team, constantly attacking the model to find weaknesses. Then there's model hardening, where you actually train the AI on malicious examples to make it tougher. And finally, explainable AI, or XAI, which lets you peek under the hood and see why the model is making its decisions, so you can find and fix hidden biases. So we have a legally sound company and a super secure technology. Now what? Well, now we have to prove that somebody actually wants it. We have to prove it's valuable. And that means finding product market fit by solving what's known as a painkiller problem. So what is a painkiller? It's not just another cool feature. A painkiller is a solution to an urgent, high-value business problem. It's the difference between something that's nice to have and something a business absolutely cannot live without. Finding that painkiller is the fastest path to proving your value and hitting that magical product market fit. I love this analogy. Think of it as a vitamin versus a painkiller. A vitamin is a nice to have. Sure, it might improve things a little, but the business will be just fine without it. A painkiller, on the other hand, solves a real acute problem. Think about something like automating tedious, expensive back-office tasks. That provides immediate, measurable return on investment. That is a painkiller. And that's what gets you those first crucial paying customers. Okay, so you're solving a real problem, you're a painkiller. Now you need a smart way to charge for it. This brings us to the monetization strategy, how you're actually going to turn all that value you're creating into a sustainable revenue stream. So why does the pricing model matter so much? Well, it all kind of boils down to this one number, 18%. That's how much higher the customer lifetime value, or CLTV, is for a hybrid pricing model compared to a simple pay-as-you-go plan. Choosing the right model has a huge direct impact on your bottom line.
So what's the magic behind the hybrid model? Well, if you go with a pure subscription, you get predictable revenue, which is great, but you're leaving money on the table with your heavy users. If you go with pure usage-based pricing, your revenue can be all over the place. The hybrid model, though, it gives you the best of both worlds. You get a predictable revenue floor from a base subscription, plus all the upside as your customers grow and use your service more. But, and this is a big but, for this model to work, it all comes down to trust. You need a base subscription for your core features and then charge for usage of premium stuff. The absolute key, though, is a totally transparent metering system. We're talking real-time dashboards and predictive cost estimates. Nobody likes a surprise bill, right? If your customers can't understand and predict their costs, they won't trust you, and that's a fast track to churn.
So there you have it. We've covered the legal foundation, the secure tech, the market strategy, and the business model. Let's pull it all together now and look at the complete blueprint for growth, from day one all the way to long-term success.
So here it is, the full journey laid out as a clear roadmap. You see how it all starts with that immediate, non-negotiable legal work? From there, you build the secure technical core. After that, you go find your market by solving that critical painkiller problem. And finally, you scale the business with smart monetization. See how each step logically builds on the last one? That's how you create a solid foundation for real growth. And that brings us to the end of this breakdown. You now have the blueprint for building an AI startup that's actually investable, from the legal docs right through to market entry. So the final question really is for you. What is the urgent, high-value, painkiller problem that your AI idea is uniquely positioned to solve? Because that, right there, is where the real journey begins.